Hey, good morning. It's Tuesday morning. It's a little after 10 o'clock. It's cold outside, TK. It's just cold. We're supposed to get some more snow today. I don't know how much. Maybe more snow this week. Kids are excited. They think they might get a snow day from school. Who knows? Anyway, welcome to just today's episode of Illegal Formation on the Inside Edge Network. As always, brought to you by LPV Productions. I'm Chad Bryan. That's TK Dandridge with me, as always. TK, what's going on this morning, man? You staying warm over there? It's cold outside. I don't want winter anymore, TK. Is it almost spring or no?
We got a few more months of that, but doing well so far this morning. 35 degrees today so far, so that's good to start with. Gonna get more rain than snow today, it looks like, so that's kind of an outlier, but yeah, I'm kind of over winter too.
Yeah, I mean, after Christmas, I'm not really sure what good winter is anymore. It doesn't ever snow on Christmas ananymore.
No, not anymore.
It snows more on Halloween now than it does on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Thanksgiving.
Whatever, man. Yeah, it was really snowy on Thanksgiving. We had a bunch of snow on Thanksgiving this year. And then, like clockwork, on Christmas Day, my yard was muddy and puddly. Whatever. So I guess that's how it goes. Anyway, we got a pretty good show. We're going to bring you some of the latest in the Cleveland Browns search for a new head coach. We'll see how they mess that up again. It was funny. I had a Facebook memory yesterday, and I'm not going to read you the post or whatever, but it was basically me calling out the hire of Kevin Stefanski, because I don't know if you remember this, but when he left Minnesota, he had receivers complaining about not getting the ball enough. They got shut down. It was either a playoff game, first round playoff game. They got shut. That was like 7 straight 3-and-outs. The offense looked terrible. So I made a joke about, great, man. We just hired Freddie Kitchens again. We got wide receivers complaining about not getting the ball. We got a stagnant offense. Let's see where this goes. And here we are 6 years later with a stagnant offense and wide receivers complaining about not getting the ball. And now Kevin Stefanski is gone. So that went full circle. It made me feel smart. I read that. I was like, hey, every once in a while I say something that makes sense. Don't get excited. Just every once in a while. Probably not today. Just every so often. So I saw that yesterday. It made me chuckle a little bit. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the college football national championship game. We didn't really talk much about we haven't talked at all about what Indiana did to Oregon last week. That was crazy. I didn't expect that. I thought Oregon might win that second matchup, but they didn't even show up. They were down 21-0, I think, in about a minute 40 into the game. Indiana just absolutely rolled. It felt like they put up 100 if they really wanted to. Yeah, they're something right now. And they have an opportunity to do something really, really cool, by the way, just as a school overall. Not just a football team, but as just the school and athletics. We'll get to that in a little bit. I think that's a pretty cool thing. When they play the Hurricanes, they'll take on Miami on Monday night. Home game for Miami, by the way. I don't know how you feel about that. That's a little weird. I mean, you can't plan these things. You don't know who's going to be where. And I get it. It's an NFL stadium. It's not exactly like it's just it's not in Coral Gate. It's not, on campus down there at the University of Miami. It's not that kind of a home game, but nevertheless, it's a home game for the Canes. So we'll see how that plays into it. Some people are making me laugh. They're like, man, Canes fans don't even travel to home games. So it's not going to make a difference.
They just now started back.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's okay. Right. You have 20 years or so of, let's be honest. It was 20 years or so of mediocrity. I mean, every once in a while they'd have a team that would shoot up the rankings a little bit. They'd lose a couple big games. Not a shot. That's not throwing shade at them. I mean, they beat the crap out of Ohio State, man. They were more physical. They were they wanted it more. You could clearly see it. I know they only won by 10, but that game never felt that close. I mean, Miami took care
really
of it.
Didn't.
It is what it is, man. I'm not upset at them. I hope it's a good game. I want Indiana to win because they're Big Ten. It's Curt Cignetti. I love the story. But I wouldn't mind seeing Miami win another national championship. I'm not bitter. It's fine. A lot of stuff going on. We're going to talk about the NFL Wildcard round of playoffs this past weekend and last night. There may be a new name headed into the mix. If you're talking about head coach, there may be a new name. Who could it be? Could be Mikey T. Anyway, sorry, man. I had to rhyme there. Never know. Could see him go. High school hoops this weekend. We got some crazy, crazy matchups in high school hoops. Lima Senior is going to be taking on Brunswick. These are two teams Well, first off, I do a lot of work with Brunswick. I've done some, I've been to Brunswick a few times doing some work. Know a lot of people there. Always kind of root for the Blue Devils a little bit. They're taking on Lima Senior, which is a team close to me back home where I grew up. These are two teams in the top 11, Max Prep's top 11, regardless of division. Right now, Lima Senior is number 10. Brunswick is number 11. They're going to play each other in the Flying to the Hoop Invitational in Kettering, around Dayton at the Kettering Trent Arena. I don't know what the situation is. It says a lot of those games are sold out. So if you want to try to head to Dayton this weekend to take on, you're not going to take on these teams, you'll probably lose because you're one person. Teams are pretty good. But yeah, if you want to try to see, just go to flyingtothehoop.com and check out what the ticket situation is. I'm really not sure what's sold out, but it says they have 29 teams, 18 games, and 4 days at the Kettering Trent Arena, January 16th through the 19th. So that's going to start here in just a few days and run through the weekend. I believe Lima Senior and Brunswick play on Sunday. Don't quote me on that. But again, you can head to flyintothehoop.com and you can check that out yourself. And then also this weekend, two other teams inside the top 11, the Max Preps top 11, regardless of division. Delphos St. John's is going to go to Marion Local. You've heard this before. Teams are always good at something, right? But where's Delphos St. John? Delphos St. John's is 12-0, currently ranked number 7 in the Max Preps top 11, and Marion Local's 10-0. They're ranked number 9. Delphos St. John's will head to Marion Local for just a MAC conference game, just normal procedure for the MAC, right? Just two undefeated top 11, regardless of division teams, taking each other on. Both of those teams are really, really good. Rumor is the tickets went on sale this morning at 8 a.m., and that game was sold out by 8:05. So if you're heading to that one, you have to have a ticket already, and you have to have gotten it in 5 minutes, because you might be out of luck there. But yeah, plenty of high school hoops going on. It's a fun weekend for that. So again, go check one of those games out. I hope you already have a ticket for the Delphos St. John's Marion Local game, because that one is apparently sold out. The rumor is anyway. But you could probably still maybe get into the Lima Senior Brunswick game. I'm not sure what the situation is with that one. All right, let's move on, TK. We got to talk about what's the latest. Who'd the Browns interview yesterday? Mike McDaniel? Who'd they talk to yesterday? Is that right?
Yes, they did indeed interview former Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel. I think it was a very short interview. It didn't last more than about, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour. A lot of steam is starting to pick up. Obviously, like I said, this search should be very elongated. It should continue throughout the month of January and possibly course into February somewhat. We've still got, I think, 2 more interviews later on this week. Obviously, the big one is Harbaugh, and I think a couple other candidates as well. I don't remember off the top of my head, but we do have a lot of work to do still. Obviously, like you said, Mike Tomlin might be on the lookout. We have to, see what his future holds. Yeah. There are a couple other candidates. Grant Udinski, the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think we'll be conducting an interview with him very soon. The 30-year-old offensive coordinator enjoyed a renaissance season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you had watched them at any point in time in this season, you would see that offense was definitely humming, something that we need desperately. So he would be an interesting interview. Don't know if he's the clear candidate or not, but definitely an interesting name to look for. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this head coach search is just getting started. Guys, just hang tight. This could last a while.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they should take their time. They rushed into their previous hire, which was Kevin Stefanski. I talked to you a little bit about the Facebook memory that I had. I wasn't totally on board at the time, and I can't say it didn't go well. I mean, 2 Coach of the Year awards, couple playoff appearances, one of which he was home for, but that's not his fault. Listen, I don't know. It's just whatever. It didn't work out the way we wanted it to as Browns fans. There were some good times, right? There were ups. There were also downs. Unfortunately, we ended up on a couple of downs. The 3-14 and 5-12. When you go 8-26 over your last couple of seasons, it doesn't always leave the best taste in fans' mouths, I guess.
No.
But it wasn't all bad. Kevin Stefanski here. It just didn't quite go the way we had planned it. which is, I think, a common theme really for the last, 26 seasons now of being a Browns fan. Since they left for Baltimore and became the Ravens and then came back and were the Browns again, just really hasn't gone the way we planned it. So, it's tough sometimes being a Browns fan, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel. So what do you make of the short interview? I mean, is that a short interview? I don't know. 45 minutes seems like a long time to sit and get grilled by the Haslams. I mean, as long as you say the word comfortable, you think it would take at least an hour to talk to that man, but whatever.
For us, that may seem, like a long time, but you would think this is something that is going to be entrenched for years. This isn't just some ragtag job that you just walk into with an application that you filled out last night or a couple days ago or what have you. This is
some green ink, right? You even have a blue pen or whatever.
Yeah, you're going to be leading an NFL franchise for the next few years, you would think, which makes this thing that much more challenging, and why I think it should be a long search, because we forget that along with the inflation in the player market, the coaching market has received a bit of a spike as well. There are multiple coaches in the NFL right now that are making $20 million or more. No, not more, but you do have a couple of $20 million coaches. Obviously, Andy Reid is one of them. I do believe that Mike Tomlin was somewhere in that realm as well. But you're going to have to fork over a significant amount of money to the next head coach, regardless of who it be. If you go with the younger candidate, you might not have to worry about that as much. But if you do want somebody proven, like John Harbaugh already said he wanted $20 million and be able to do his own thing. And so, that's definitely something to think about. I obviously, with other Browns fans, being involved with this, they say just go ahead and give it to him. Give him the blank check, let him do what he wants, because I'm sure he knows what to fix. You've been beating up on the same team for almost 20 years. I'm sure you would know, our biggest problem and how to correct that. So,
yeah,
it's just
20 years of film on this team.
Yeah. So, Harbaugh does make perfect sense for us to at least target, but you got to wonder. I know people say, he's from here, his family's here, this, that, and the other. 20 years of kicking the same team's ass, you start not to care that much. I'm sure somewhere in that 20 years, he had to have just been, what, these guys stink. And it's my job to make sure that they stink forever and that no one wants to smell them ever again as long as I'm here. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe he wants to change that. I'm not sure. But it's always good to kick the tires. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to be pretty excited once we complete that one and see what our future holds after that.
I think it's funny when people. I've seen a lot of talk online about the Browns, being a blue blood franchise in the NFL, and why wouldn't any coach want to come here? And if you win, you're an instant legend. Well, that's a big if lately. I mean, that's a big if over the last quarter of a century. If you, and secondly, can you be a blue blood of the NFL if you haven't been to the playoffs more than twice in 15 years? I don't know. I mean, I get it. The 80s were fun. Listen, the Marty Schottenheimer days were great, right? Going to the AFC Championship game a few times, always losing to the Broncos was frustrating. Yeah, it's fine. And then watching them go get obliterated in the Super Bowl, whatever, it made you, I don't know, it made you feel a little bit better as a Browns fan. Well, I guess, we weren't that close because the team that beat us just got absolutely blown out in the Super Bowl. A little bit embarrassed a couple of times. So maybe, it's hard to watch a team that, I don't know. Take, for instance, the Guardians. Well, back when they were the Indians, they were up 3-1 on the Red Sox, right? Lost that series. And then the Red Sox just went and ran over the Rockies in the World Series. And it's like, that would have been, you don't want to say an easy championship because nothing's easy in Cleveland. You know how it goes. Something always happens. There's always some weird rain delay, changes in momentum, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It hurts a little more when you see your team lose, and then the team that you lose to goes on and wins. And you're like, man, we could have won. That could have been our Super Bowl, right? Right? I don't know. Maybe it makes you feel a little bit better seeing the Broncos get handled like that. I don't know. Whatever. It's almost 40 years ago. I mean, in some cases it was 40. Yeah, about 40 years ago. So I guess we got to get over that. Let's just switch gears completely. I want to talk a little bit about, since we talked about Mike Tomlin possibly coming onto the market, being a possible target for the Browns. Again, I don't think they're in any hurry. I don't think we're going to hear like news of a hire today when it comes to that head coach spot. So they're going to take their time and look over everything, I hope. Let's just talk about the game last night, because the Houston Texans went into Pittsburgh. This game was 7-6 heading into the fourth quarter, and I was like, it's a defensive bat. Like, what in the world happened in the fourth quarter? First of all, 23 points for the Texans in the fourth quarter blew this game wide open. There was a pick six. All kinds of stuff went wrong for the Steelers. Listen, first of all, do you think they move on from Tomlin, or do you think they give him another shot to come back? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is probably done, right? Is he going to play again?
Mm-hmm. No, I think 8 is out of there. Last night was absolutely atrocious, not completely to his own admission. That offensive line did struggle greatly. You felt bad for Steelers left tackle Dylan Cook, who is their 4th left tackle this season, having to block Will Anderson Jr. and, of course, Troy Fontenot on the other side, having to deal with Danielle Hunter all night. I mean, those two just caused havoc all night long. Sheldon Rankins picked up a fumble and ran it back 33 yards for a touchdown. I think that was the one that broke the game, pretty much cementing the game after the 51-yard field goal by Kaimi Fairbairn. And obviously later on, Caden Bullock had a pick six. It was just a nightmarish fourth quarter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like you said, it was 7-6 going into the fourth. I honestly thought it was going to be a defensive struggle all game. I thought both defenses played very well through the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And then Pittsburgh's offense just imploded. Granted, C.J. Stroud was absolutely terrible in those first 3 quarters of that game. You think 2 lost fumbles, 4 total, and then to throw the interception late in the third quarter to Brandon Echols, which was, not necessarily the worst read ever, but the throw was extremely late. Xavier Hutchinson did do a brilliant job of getting open on that play. CJ just read it extremely late and made a bad throw, and Brandon Echols made a fantastic play on it. The way that game ended, it's normal to have a feeling that, maybe some change is coming, because you can't. This season has been so up and down. For you to win 10 games, that was somewhat of an accomplishment. But if we're being honest, this is kind of a rinse and repeat thing for the Steelers. Win 9 or 10 games and then get bounced in the first round. The way that you got bounced this year at home, that implosion of what was the fourth quarter. Yeah, you're going to have some speculation that Mike T might be done after 19 years. But at the same time, it's been 19 years. And I know if that means anything to any organization in the NFL, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they will sit on this. They will chew on this. They're going to think about this for a while. And we're going to see what happens soon. I don't think there'll be any news. Like you said, I don't think it'll be news today about it. But we'll keep tracks of it for the next few days.
I can't help when I look at this game. Reminds me of a playoff game a couple of years ago now, like a few years ago, between these same Houston Texans and our Cleveland Browns, where, listen, we were excited, right? Postseason football, Cleveland doesn't happen very often. We go, take on the Texans, lose 45-14. And it just sent the Browns into this tailspin, this 8-26 that we've seen over the last 2 seasons. Do you think, I know it's the Steelers, we're talking about a little bit higher floor for Mike Tomlin. Again, I don't think anybody does more with less than Mike Tomlin, TK. But do you think this kind of a loss, 30-6 loss, is pretty significant in the playoffs? It feels like if it would have ended 7-6 or 10-9 or something, we might be talking about something different. But I mean, do you think this kind of a loss could send the Steelers into that kind of a tailspin where they're down for a couple seasons now, or is that a Browns thing exclusively?
To be quite honest with you, I just think that's a Browns thing. I really don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers losing that many games in that short of time. But you never know. They haven't been able to get the quarterback thing right ever since Ben hung them up. Obviously, having to recycle through Kenny Pickett and Russell Wilson and now Aaron Rodgers, going back to reclaim Mason Rudolph. It's just been an absolute mess as far as that position. But you think, some of these mid-level rosters that he's had this past decade, they still have great players on them. Obviously, you still have TJ Watt there. Cameron Hayward is there. Joey Porter is ascending to be one of the 10 best corners in the NFL. He has been absolutely excellent this season. I thought he was wonderful. Kind of strange that they didn't put him on Christian Kirk last night with the amazing game that he had once Nico Collins finally checked out. He was brilliant last night. 8 receptions for 144 yards and a score. You just think with all of the instability, especially at the very important positions, quarterback, the offensive line, the mismatch of production that you've gotten at the running back position. Granted, I think Kenneth Gainwell has been decent this year. Jalen Warren hasn't been that bad. He has been able to field winning seasons. Granted, he has missed the playoffs in 2018, 19, and 22, and has gone 0-6 in the playoffs since 2016. He always manages to get his teams to play above 500 football, which I definitely think is something to be wary of, something to be somewhat thankful for, especially when you come from, if you're a fan that comes from an organization that has been absolutely terrible, like the Cleveland Browns have been. So we don't get things like that. We'll win 10 or 11 games and then lose 14 the very next year. So it just, it's always been a mess here. But, like I said, there's a lot to think about here. You haven't done this in 2 decades. If you do move on, this is something that I see, again, heading into February. I really don't like how teams are rushing to hire their head guys because it seems just as quickly as they're getting hired, they're getting ready to let them go. So it's like you guys really got to take your time with this if you do decide to go in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, is it likely that the next head coach the Steelers hire is going to be there for another 2 decades? I mean, how do they keep? Listen, Mike Tomlin, Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll. What? I mean, that takes us back to the late. That's insane, TK. That is absolutely insane. And it's not like they've just settled for below average results. I mean, they've won some Super Bowl. I mean, they've gotten the results. And every stage under these 3 guys: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. Last 3 head coaches. I mean, we're talking about that goes back to before I was born. 3 head coaches. I'm pretty old, man. I'm 46. That's pretty wild. That's an incredible run of success.
Yeah.
How? How do you even get close to that level as the Browns? How do they do this?
I honestly wish I knew. They've had wonderful drafts. Obviously, throughout the 70s, they were able to build their team through the draft. Obviously, getting Joe Green, as a number 1 overall pick. Terry Bradshaw went number 1 overall in 1970. They were able to get guys like Lynn Swann and Johnny Stallworth and all those guys. So, the draft was very good to them in the 70s. You obviously went through a little dead period in the 80s and the 90s. You got the 1 Super Bowl in 1995, played the Cowboys. So that was, nice little outlier for, those 2 decades of pain that they suffered. But, I really think Bill Cowher did a really good job of building that roster during the late 90s, early 2000s, was able to get a Super Bowl off that. And then, once he hangs them up, hey, Mike Tomlin, here's this roster that Bill Cowher constructed for you. Have fun with it. And he did. He went to 2 Super Bowls, won one. Yep. So, I just think there's just a lot to unfold here. Steeler fans want to fire this cat every year. I think there is just an overwhelming section of Pittsburgh Steelers fans that would love nothing more than to see Mike Tomlin get absolutely trounced from Acrisure Stadium and anywhere near those premises. But it's just a lot to think about. You've had 3 coaches in what, 50, 55, 56 years. It's
unbelievable.
This is unfamiliar territory. So yeah, this is going to take a while. We may be on our edge. We may be on the edge of our seats for a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Browns have had 3 coaches inside of 5 or 6 seasons a couple of times just since they've come back.
Yeah.
That's wild. Whatever. So listen, the Patriots are back. Patriots beat the Chargers Sunday night, 16-3. Completely shut down Justin Herbert and that Jim Harbaugh offense that we thought. I thought Justin Herbert. I thought he looked like the best quarterback in the league at times this year. But man, this Mike Vrabel New England Patriots connection it's off to a pretty good start. I mean, we're only just past the Wildcard Round, but I mean, they completely shut down the Chargers. I think it's funny if you're an Ohio State, Michigan connoisseur, if you like to pay attention to what happens after these guys leave school, whatever. Interesting to know our ball season was ended by an Ohio State quarterback last year in C.J. Stroud, and now by Mike Vrabel, who's of course an Ohio State alumni, played there and whatever. I think that's it's fun to note. Whatever. Jim Harbaugh, TK, he hasn't won anything of significance since the whole Connor Stallion situation was going on. So it makes you wonder, can he win without cheating? I mean, listen, we can say now after the investigation that they clearly did something. I know everyone didn't no games were vacated, no wins were vacated, so that means they're innocent. That's not what that means. It just means no wins were vacated. It doesn't mean they're innocent. Clearly, if you read the 74-page report from the NCAA, they clearly did multiple things that were immoral, illegal, well, not illegal, against the rules. Maybe some stuff. Well, yeah, they did some stuff that was illegal in that organization too. Let's not whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, because is this like the next dynasty? And does it really have to be the Patriots again? Are people ready for this, man?
Not really ready to call it a dynasty just yet, but they did look excellent against the Chargers. This defense is otherworldly. You got 2 great defenses going up in the AFC divisional game. Houston showed exactly how amazing their defense was last night. I mean, the offense, literally that offense wanted to give away that game. The constant fumbling, the terrible interception, the drop passes, the penalties that they racked up throughout that game. I think they had about 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So for the defense to be able to just come in there and just keep them at bay and clean up all of those errors, and to get out of there with a 30-6 win, that is incredible in itself. And you can go back to the Patriots and Chargers game, an absolute stinker through 3 quarters. Yep. I mean, neither quarterback could do anything right. I think both quarterbacks had over 55 yards rushing. Justin had 56 yards rushing. I think Drake May had 63. I mean, they both led their teams in rushing. I mean, just a messy offensive performance from both teams. But as I said, that defense, K'Lavon Chaisson came on huge for the New England Patriots. Had 7 sacks this season, had 2 against the Chargers in that wild card game. Milton Williams was fantastic. Christian Barrymore had a very good game as well. Harold Landry, you didn't hear his name that much, but he was getting a lot of heat off that edge for the New England Patriots. And that young secondary, I mean, listen, Christian Gonzalez is a top 5 corner. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jalen Hawkins and Craig Woodson, those 2 rookies have been absolutely phenomenal in that secondary for them. And Carlton Davis III has been good as well. You got to give a lot of credit to Mike Vrabel for being able to work around his defensive coordinator not being present Remember, Terrell Williams has missed the entire season with a prostate issue. We wish him the absolute best. Hopefully he's back next season. But yeah, it's going to be another knockdown slugfest, low-scoring game. Expect some more ugly offense. Got to think Patriots didn't look that spotless offensively until about the fourth quarter. You got some big plays early on from Ramondre Stevenson in that first quarter, but other than that, it was a lot of skittish play, a lot of errors, a lot of misconnection. And then in the fourth quarter, they were able to pick up a little bit of steam and actually add a touchdown to the board. So, just expect another, low-scoring defensive slugfest out there in Foxborough this coming weekend.
Yeah, I always, you mentioned Foxborough, and it's like it goes hand in hand with December, January football. You think about like whatever, all the games down the stretch, the weather, the snow could be. You never know what the weather's going to be there. And it makes me think of something else too. How many quarterback fumbles are there going to be in this game? Listen, Justin Herbert, 2 fumbles for the Chargers, right? We talked about Drake May, 2 fumbles. CJ Stroud, 4 million fumbles in that game. So now you got CJ Stroud going to Drake May. How many times is the quarterback's going to fumble in this game? And how many points can we really expect to be scored? That's going to be a fun matchup to see. We talked about possibly the next dynasty. Some people said maybe it's going to be the Eagles. They took down the Chiefs. The Chiefs bowed all the way out of the playoffs. They didn't even make it. Eagles gone. Wildcard round. Taken care of by San Francisco. Beat them 23-19. I don't know. I mean, are the 49ers for real? I feel like they just keep getting the great draw, right? They had a terrible schedule coming in. We knew that. So they go 12-5 or whatever. And now they play probably the worst good team in the playoffs. I don't understand the Eagles. I haven't understood them all season. I know Ryan Moss will be glad they're done. They have such a weird season. It's almost like I'm getting sick of talking about them. They've had such a weird season. So it's the Niners over the Eagles. They'll move on. So the Niners are going to Seattle now. So San Francisco, Seattle, that's the matchup. The low seed is going to travel to the 1 seed. So it's, you don't really know the seeding until after you know who wins, right? So we've got Houston, New England, and the AFC matchup that we just talked about. 49ers, Seahawks. Did the Niners really have a chance to beat the Seahawks in this one, TK?
Actually, I think they do. This matchup during the regular season was very strange. San Francisco took the first game, wild defensive battle, 16-13. And then you think of that end of the season matchup, Seattle damn near blanked San Francisco, 13-3 at Levi Stadium. And Brock Purdy was absolutely terrible during that game. They couldn't get anything going. They held Christian McCaffrey in check for a great part of that game. George Kittle was able to do his thing. He had 6 catches that game. But he won't be there Sunday because of the Achilles tear in the playoff game against the Eagles. We wish him the absolute best. That's going to mean Jake Tungus is going to have to step up in his place and make some plays. Listen, this weekend can potentially be the most boring divisional weekend in NFL history because I don't see anybody scoring anything this weekend. I really don't. All 4 teams have incredible defenses. I mean, you saw what Seattle did to San Francisco in the last game of the season. Yeah. You just got a whiff of what the Patriots are whipping up as far as playoff football, what they did to the Los Angeles Chargers, and now they've got the Houston Texans, who did basically the same thing to the Steelers, if not worse. Man, it's going to be a bloodbath this week. Another big-time defensive game.
I almost wouldn't be surprised to see that Patriots Texans game end up like 7-6 or 6-3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 9-7 or something.
Yeah, you never know. I want to talk about this matchup too. This is a fun one for me. Buffalo beat Jacksonville, and we all know how it feels to watch a head coach come in and first of all, Liam Cohen surprised all of us. I mean, especially Browns fans watching that Jacksonville pick. Just dwindle away from the top 5 and then the top 10 and then out of the top 15. And whew, there it goes out the window. Might as well be a second-round pick. We talked about that on the show. Ryan Mosser said that. He's right. Might as well be a second-round pick. So tell me why people are mad at Lynn Jones. I thought it was nice. I thought it was a nice moment. She gave Liam Cohen his props, man. 12-5, unexpectedly, right? I didn't expect Liam Cohen to go 12-5 with the Jaguars this year. I didn't expect
13-4.
I'm sorry?
13-4.
13-4. Even better. See how I can't even give him enough credit. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're right. 13-4. I didn't expect Trevor Lawrence to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year. I mean, Liam Cohen turned that franchise around so quickly, and I don't know. Maybe he caught lightning in the bottle. Maybe next year they pull Browns. I have no idea. Why are people so mad at a reporter giving Liam Cohen a little bit of credit for just doing a great job? I mean, are we not allowed to say, "Hey, man, that was a good job"? Can we not say that anymore, TK?
Apparently, you're not allowed to say anything anymore. People are extremely weird. I really don't get the sentiment behind getting mad at this journalist for what she did. To be quite honest, I thought it was nice because it was a break from the norm. Reporters usually like to ask stupid questions after a loss. A majority of them are extremely dumb questions. I honestly think that those post-game press conferences turn into litmus tests after a while. You know, you want to see which coach is going to crash out. You know, what's the next, Denny Green or Herman Edwards name that we could throw in a Coors Light commercial. That's what it feels like sometimes. And for her to do that, I believe her name is Lynn Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
Jones, yep.
What she did, listen, completely out of the ordinary, completely out of left field, but very brilliant on her part, very thoughtful. You just had a wonderful season. You lose a heartbreaking playoff game like that. That game was almost won. They had a 4-point lead with just over a minute left to go in the game. And, of course, Buffalo uses the play that they were just complaining about to save their season ultimately. They do the most complaining out of any winning team in the NFL. They're starting to become the New England Patriots that we have all come to despise for whatever reason. But they do a lot of damn whining up there in Orchard Park, New York, and I honestly wish they would stop. But regardless of that, I thought what the woman did was very genuine. It was definitely needed. It was definitely needed. I don't want to speak for Liam Cohen or anything or say what he needs or anything like that, or nothing of that nature. But after a tough loss, to see that people see the work that you put in and they can see that the progress that you are making is indeed tangible and something to be invested in, that's always heartwarming. That always helps. That's always, hey, we're doing the right thing here. Let's keep this thing going.
Yeah. Someone I thought said it perfectly. Someone commented on social media that we're so into the pile-on culture. They called it pile-on culture. And you've seen it with Ryan Day. I mean, he's 82-12 with a national championship in 7 seasons. Yet you've got 30% of the fan base of Ohio State screaming to fire him. 82-12. I mean, they lost 2 games this year, TK, by a total of 13 points. The 2 teams who are now playing in the national title game, who are playing each other for a national. These are the best 2 teams in the country. That's who Ohio State lost to. And you've got people online screaming, they're exposed as frauds. They're garbage. They're trash. They're overrated. 13 points to the 2 best teams in the country. And somehow they're exposed as frauds and fire Ryan Day. It just goes to show you people have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. I mean, none. 0 idea. And these are the same people that are mad at Lynn Jones for giving Liam Cohen a little bit of credit for doing a great job in his first year at the helm of the Jacksonville Jaguars, whatever. First year as head coach, turns him around, goes not 12-5, as we found out. It was 13-4. Even like I said, I can't even give him enough credit. I thought it was an amazing moment. I thought it was really cool. Like I said, I stumbled onto it. I didn't know there was backlash. I heard it and I thought, what a cool moment. And then I started, I go to the comments and I just started seeing some vile stuff. And I thought, wow, like people are really mad. And sometimes it feels like, is it just because she's a woman? Like, I don't know, man, whatever. I thought it was a great moment. She's obviously, an extremely thoughtful person. By all accounts, a great reporter. She's been doing it for over 2 decades. There's probably a reason for that. So I just wanted to publicly commend her. I don't think she's watching the show today. But if she catches it later by chance, Lynn Jones, I commend you. That was fantastic. So Buffalo's going to go to Denver. And if you listen to Broncos fans, I thought maybe there was a chance that a lot of Broncos fans didn't think they would survive the bye week. They thought maybe I think maybe Broncos fans thought they might lose to the bye. The bye would move on. Buffalo would just get the auto bye and go right to the AFC Championship game. But Denver has a pretty good football team, man. So what happens in this one? When the Bills play the Broncos, is that Bo Nix's time to shine, or is it Josh Allen? Is he? What happens in that game, TK? You have any thoughts on that one?
Well, I think the Broncos are definitely going to be put to the forefront, especially after enjoying a bye week. They had better be ready to go. Yeah. I think the Buffalo Bills do have some other advantage simply because they played a wildcard game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're still a little bit warm from that game, I think. I do think this is going to be Bo Nix's opportunity to show that, hey, I am not this average quarterback or below average quarterback that a lot of people seem to think he is for some reason. Listen, I understand this year as a whole, quarterback play has not been up, not been what we are used to. But, at the same time, listen, I can never go against a guy with a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. Yeah, a guy who has been a part of a team that won 14 games. I just can't do it. I can see he was putting the ball in harm's way every trip. He led the league in turnovers or something of that nature. But that is not the case. He is a solid quarterback with solid playmakers on offense. He's got a very good offensive line. Garrett Bowles and Quinn Miners are both all pro this season. This is going to be a very good game. Denver had better be ready to go. Buffalo had better be ready to go as well. It's going to be another tight one. Maybe not the grueling, low-scoring game that we expect out of the Houston-New England game and the San Francisco-Seattle game, but I do expect it to be tight.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be a good game. A lot of premier quarterbacks left in these playoffs, TK. Guys have either been considered to be premier at one point or they're having a renaissance now. CJ Stroud with a great rookie season for the Texans a couple years ago. It's been a little up and down because of some injuries on that offensive staff. Whatever. You have some issues there. But you got Brock Purdy, Matt Stafford, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, Drake May, Josh Allen, Bo Nix. I'm missing one. Somehow I'm missing Seattle's quarterback right now. But I don't know. Rams-Bears is the other matchup that we have not talked about. Is there anything? Is this Caleb Williams' time in the NFC? You see the Bears going much past? Can the Bears beat the Rams?
Absolutely, I think the Bears can beat the Rams. You take a good look at that comeback victory against the Packers a week ago, and you realize that there's absolutely no quit in this offense. You think, those first 4 or 5 times they went for it on 4th down, you think, all right, then let's relax a little bit. Let's pull off the reins a bit, doing a little bit too much. No, we got to keep that foot on the gas. We got to continue to do that. And I do think they will be able to do that. The Rams showed their weakness in pass coverage. Granted, Bryce Young only completed 21 out of 40 passes. A lot of those were really misconnections and overthrows due to pressure. It's just the nature of it. If you watch the entire game, he was able to get out of the pocket and extend plays, finding guys down the field wide open. He was able to make plays with his legs as well. Caleb Williams is going to do that.
Yeah.
He's going to do that exact same thing. He's going to extend the plays outside the pocket, going to find guys wide open down the field. If he's got some open space to take off and run, he's going to do that. I don't think the Rams are good with play-action quarterbacks. They showed that they weren't that good with Bryce Young. You had him down 14-0, and then he still went out and ripped off 31 points on you guys. So I definitely do think that the Bears have a chance to win this game. Oh, I think it's going to be another high-scoring game. You know, Bears are missing a few pieces on defense after that wild card game, with the big one being T.J. Edwards, obviously. Rams still have number 9 back there. Matthew Stafford is definitely playing at an MVP level. Had 3 touchdown passes last week against the Carolina Panthers. Listen, it's going to be shootout. Soldier Field is going to be lit ablaze. Hopefully we get another snow globe game. That was pretty neat to see. But yeah, both of these offenses, I expect there to be fireworks, and I definitely expect Caleb Williams to take the torch from Matthew Stafford. It ain't gonna be easy, but I do expect 18 to come out overnight.
Okay. First of all, my apologies to Sam Darnold. I don't know why I blanked on Sam Darnold's name. I don't know what happened to me. So sorry, Sam. But yeah, Bears Rams. I think that's a fun matchup. Listen, Caleb Williams got off to a little bit of a slow start against the Packers, right? Like you said, fell down 21-3. But it just felt like if you watch that game, it felt like the Bears they didn't panic. They barely even flinched down 21-3. And I didn't think the Packers intentionally took their foot off the gas or anything. It just felt like that Bears defense just came out in the second half, completely turned up they cranked up the volume on the Packers. First of all, that defense was a completely different. They looked just different. They looked like a different squad in that second half, and that helps. You know, as a quarterback, when you see your defense going out and getting stops, and obviously that's a huge factor in that. But yeah, Caleb Williams completely turned it around. Got off to the slow start. If he gets off to a slow start against the Rams and Matt Stafford, it may be a little bit tougher. But yeah, like you said, I have a lot of faith in the Bears. It's fun to see the Bears be good again, you know, even though it's not the original Soldier Field. I grew up watching the Bears, you know, Jim McMahon, Walter Payton, Richard Dent, Mike Singletary, Dave Duerson. Like, those teams were really, the Fridge, man. How did I forget? Yeah, of course. Yeah, those teams were just really a lot of fun to watch, man. It's cool to see the Bears good again. So anyway, those are the matchups. Like I said, Buffalo, Denver, in the AFC, and then Houston and New England, and then you've got San Francisco and Seattle, and the LA Rams are going to take on the Bears. So we'll talk about that a little bit more on Sunday on our NFL pregame show. We'll get into that. We'll also bring you the latest on the Browns head coaching search. I'm assuming there will be some kind of news to report between now and then. Maybe we'll know a little bit more about whether or not the Browns actually get to talk to John Harbaugh. Whether or not there's an official interview that's going to happen. I know there's supposed mutual interest. I still don't know if there's actually an interview scheduled. I know there's been talks. I know the Ravens have asked for permission and received permission to talk with Jim Schwartz. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know if they're trying to lure Kevin Stefanski. Maybe they'll get Jim Schwartz to come over and be the defensive coordinator and go, hey, Kevin, look, there's some familiarity. You can just come to Baltimore and you've got your same defensive coordinator. You know, maybe Myles Garrett can force his way out of Cleveland. He can head on over here, and now look what you got. I don't want to speak that into an existence. Let's not do that. Let's not speak that into an existence. That's not going to happen. I can't say speak it into existence. Words are hard today. Anyway, one last quick thing to get to. So the Indiana Hoosiers are going to take on the Miami Hurricanes. We talked about it's going to be a home game for the Canes. Everybody's up in arms. How do you schedule a home game? Well, listen, nobody knew Miami was going to be in the national championship game, and so be it. I mean, this is one of the facilities that is able to be used for a national championship game. It's
game is literally held in that stadium every single season.
Let's not be upset about this. This is what happens. Blame your team. Blame the Ohio State Buckeyes for not beating the Hurricanes and knocking them out of there, right? Blame Texas A&M. Blame somebody else. You can't see these things coming. But anyway, the Hoosiers have something. Listen, they have a chance to do something really, really cool. Because I don't know if you know this or not. Right now, the last undefeated football national championship was the LSU Tigers, right? From 2019, the Joe Burrow team that he threw for, 6,000 touchdowns. And that might have been the best college football team of all time. They're really good. People say it's the Hoosiers. Listen, that LSU team, I think, would, if you could put both teams out in their prime, that LSU team would beat a lot of.
Still can't forget the 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
No, they were loaded. I mean, loaded, absolutely loaded. And it wasn't just that year's draft picks. They had, my goodness, first-round picks everywhere, all over the field for that Hurricanes team. They were crazy. They had
first-round picks from that team from 2002 to 2005.
Ridiculous.
Mhm.
So the Hoosiers, though, I want to talk about this. Is cool. The last undefeated men's basketball national championship, Indiana, 1975, 1976. It went 32-0, 18-0 in the Big Ten under Bobby Knight, won the national championship. Like I said, more importantly, finished undefeated as national champions. And if the Hoosiers can beat Miami on Monday, on January 19th, they will have the last two men's major sport undefeated national champions. That's wild. That's wild. They'll have the men's basketball and the college football, the last two undefeated national champions. I think that's great. Indiana, right? That's crazy. What timeline are we living in, TK? Like what? How? I don't even know what question to ask. How is Curt Cignetti doing this? I mean, is this all Curt Cignetti? Is this? Can you be this good of a coach?
I definitely think you can be this good of a head coach. Curt Cignetti is the new Magic Man. He's been absolutely brilliant. But I think this is just a normal underdog story of guys just banding together and wanting to win. This is just a bunch of guys that just want to go out there, that love the game, that want to make their coach proud, that want to make their alma mater proud, and that want to win. I just think this has been brilliant. The fact that they are still undefeated, I am honestly pulling for them in the national championship game, to be quite honest. Either way you go, it's a great story. I'd like to make a quick shout out to Mario Cristobal for bringing the U back to its rightful glory. It's been quite entertaining to see U legends like Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp and Ed Reed and obviously Cam Ward coming back, and obviously the big fish, Michael Irvin, taking his belt off and showing off his abs and all that. I was going to get to him. You knew I was coming. It was coming. Yeah. But both of these universities have had unbelievable seasons this year. They have played absolutely beyond the standard of college football. Both of these universities, because nobody believed in them. Nobody really thought that the U was back. Indiana, has the reputation of being a basketball school, being a basketball state. Granted, I definitely think the Indianapolis Colts have helped, kind of even the playing field out a little bit. It's still widely viewed as a basketball state. And so for Indiana University football to be undefeated and to be making noise the way that they are is truly, absolutely, overwhelmingly remarkable. And so, yeah, I give a big chunk of the success to Curt Cignetti, but you got to show your love to those IU players as well.
Yeah. I think it's funny when people say, well, it's not even IU. He brought all these transfers from James Madison. It's not fair. Come on, man. James Madison is a smaller school. It's not like he brought a bunch of guys from Alabama, right? Like 12 5-stars and just plugged them into Indiana and said, okay, let's roll. I mean, what he's been able to do at Indiana has been remarkable. It's fun to watch. His face is staring into the camera. The whole thing is just hilarious to me. I'm not sure why I got blurry. Hang on 1 second. We'll just
kind of
very
got far away for a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
There we go.
Quick. There we go. A little better now. Okay, sorry about that. We're better. Sometimes, listen, I'm old. Sometimes I get blurry, right? Like you wake up and you're a little bit blurry for the day. It happens. May not be my camera. It's probably me. But yeah, I think Indiana has the opportunity to do something so cool. I'm rooting for them. I really don't care if Miami wins. I'll be a little sad to see Indiana lose just after everything they've been through, whatever. It'd be cool to see them win a national title. Man, first time playing as number one. That's crazy. Just so many cool things for Indiana. And I just really, I don't know. I want them to finish it. But again, like you said, I mean, it's fun to see the U back. I mean, college football feels more complete when certain schools are at the top of their game. Nebraska is one of them for me anyway. I think like the Tommy Frazier, the Eric Crouch, like those years when Nebraska was just absolutely dominant. You know what I mean? A lot of fun to watch. I think that's a cool place, whatever, for football to be good. But it's see Miami be back. This is fun. I don't know if they can sustain it. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people say, hey, it's Carson Beck, right? He's got the pedigree. He's got all these national titles, bunch of wins over ranked teams. Maybe Carson Beck moves on and the U falls back to mediocrity. I don't know. I feel like they've got something going there. I hope they can keep that up as well because it's fun to see them be really good. They're set up in the ACC. I don't see anybody else really making a run in the ACC to take Miami out. So they've got a chance here to set up something for the next, 3, 4, 5 seasons, maybe be pretty good. Go on a little Clemson run, maybe win a couple titles. Who knows? You have no idea. I'd rather see the Buckeyes win a national title, but listen, you can share the wealth, man. I mean, it's really hard to win a national title. It's not easy. So when my team loses, I don't expect the rest of the season to just fold and crumble and everybody stop playing. Like, I still watch college football, and it's going to be an exciting game Monday night. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, this weekend, all the high school basketball stuff. Look into that. We've got the divisional round coming up of the NFL. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be the last time with multiple games. Other than that, I mean, geez, we're dwindling down now, man. Like we're losing football. TK, it's slipping away. It's slipping right out of our hands. And then we're going to be stuck with, I think it's 14 and a half months of regular season NBA basketball. So we're going to have to do something there. Feels like 14 and a half months, doesn't it?
We're going to be dreaming about football for the next 6-7 months.
Well, at least we've got the USFL or whatever there is going on and all the other league. I can watch some of that stuff sometimes. It's mildly entertaining. It's not the NFL. It's not college football. I'm a college football guy. I'd rather watch college football than anything football. Just anything, right? So it's hard for me. Sometimes I watch the bowl games, and it's like I'm a little sad because I know that here we are. It's winding down. You're losing games every weekend. There's less and less games. So one more. We got one left, and that's it. Indiana, Miami, Monday night. Again, the divisional round of the NFL. We'll talk about that on our Inside Edge Network. Cleveland Browns. We'll talk some Browns stuff and NFL pregame show. We'll see you Sunday around noon for that. We'll start at noon again. So we'll see you for that. Listen, guys, have a great week. I think that's it for me. TK, do you have anything before we get out of here?
Not this week, boss. Kind of empty on this one.
Yeah, man. This winter weather's just got me. I'm in survival mode. I'm just get through, right? Just get by and get through and move on. That's win and you're in, I guess. Whatever. That's my life right now. So anyway, thanks for watching today. We appreciate you. We will see you Sunday at about noon on the NFL pregame show. We'll go around the NFL again. No music for Ryan Moss, or he didn't like the music, so we're gonna cut that this week. And TK's just gonna cut himself right out of this show. So listen, guys, we appreciate you watching. We will see you this weekend on the NFL pregame show. Thanks again. Remember to follow us on social media. Inside Edge Network. Just look for the logo. You see it up there in the top left of your screen. TK's back. He's coming back to say goodbye. He wants to say goodbye. He didn't like the way he left. He didn't like hanging up on me like that. So he called back.
Sorry about that.
Now we're all good, man. It's all good. I was just thanking them for watching and letting them to know, to follow us on social media. Go to Twitter, follow us there. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure to just hit the follow button so you can be notified when we go live. Head to YouTube, follow us there. Go to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you can find the Inside Edge Network logo. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever you have to do. A lot of great content on the network, a lot of really talented people. So we appreciate your support, and we appreciate you being with us. We will see you, TK and I, with Ryan Mosser. We'll see you Sunday at about noon for the pregame show. Have a good week, guys.